do have some experience, and I'd like to give back to the community. I sit on the board for the Landmarks Preservation Committee for Town of Oyster Bay, and I think I could be an asset to the planning department.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Ms. Gold? Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Any debate or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Congratulations, Ms. Gold. Okay, item 33, resolution number 118, is a resolution to appoint members to the Board of Directors of the Nassau County Local Economic Assistance and Finance Corporation. These appointments include Mr. LaGreca, Pinto, Rockensees, and Spinello. Motion by legislator Gaylor, seconded by legislator McKevin. This is a board that it's actually traditionally it's the same members appointed to this board who serve on the IDA. So we're simply reappointing the members who serve on the IDA to this board. Any debate or discussion on these items? No? All in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Those opposed? Carries unanimously. Okay, let's go back to the Nassau County Community College budget. Number one, it's a hearing on ordinance number 34 of 2022. It's an ordinance to adopt the Nassau County budget for the Nassau Community College for the fiscal year commencing September 1st, 2022 and ending August 31st, 2023, and to appropriate revenues and the total amounts of monies to be raised by taxation, etc. Motion to open the hearing, Legislator Ford, seconded by Deputy Presiding Officer Coppell. The hearing is open, and I'd ask the college to please approach the mic and give a presentation about the budget.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Maria Canzati. I'm the interim president of Nassau Community College. I've been at the institution for 33 years, and 12 of those were served as a full-time faculty member in the NCCFT union. I still carry the distinction of being an adjunct faculty member for the institution. The budget as presented for this year will allow the institution to continue to offer the high quality education that it always has to all who attend it. So I'm here to answer any questions if the legislature has any. Thank you.
I mean, I think we want more details in terms of the budget. We didn't really get a presentation in committees. I know that you were kind enough with your staff to provide presentations to the minority-majority caucuses, but I think we need more details.
Sure. The overall budget uses $19 million of HER funds to balance the budget for this year. The institution was afforded $78 million of HER funds over the past few years to balance its budget. Those budgets have been used to offset costs and losses in some of the revenue areas due to the COVID pandemic. There are a number of strategies in the budget, again, addressing issues if there is a recession. There are certainly ways that initiatives that are put in there for cost savings. There's $5.1 million in cost savings in there. Certainly if the institution faces a recession, which normally increases our enrollments, we can back off of some of those cost savings, those initiatives. There are certainly opportunities for growth in our workforce development areas. We do need to add vocational educational programs, which are a need in the community. There is certainly opportunity there for growth in all of those areas. There are increases in contractual services of $0.8 million. Those are increases in services where we have now used a number of software packages to increase uploads of financial aid packaging for our students, the use of the opportunities for us to continue to offer courses in our number of formats. We offer hybrid, fully online courses, so we are using software to facilitate all of that. We have suffered enrollment declines, certainly, over the past several years. That is a national trend. And again, we are looking at adding new programs and new degree programs to attract new students, certainly adult students in the workforce development areas. We're also increasing the number of scholarships that we offer first-time students in various areas.
enrollment decline has been a particular concern for all of us.
Yes.
And my understanding is the decline has been something in the neighborhood of 50% over the last 7 or 8 years. What new initiatives does the college have to start attracting more students to attend there?
We certainly need to start offering vocational education programs, which we have not done. We will be adding those this coming year. Students are looking more and more to the trades to earn a livable wage here on Long Island. It's certainly a wonderful county, but an expensive county to certainly live in. We will be adding programming to doing that. In addition, we will also engage in what we call a guided pathways effort, which I've spoken about before. That guided pathways effort is really a full-fledged operational relook at the institution, the degrees it offers, sunsetting some of those programs, adding new programs that are transfer-oriented. Certainly Long Island is a service economy, adding areas such as medical assistant program, which we've added to attract more students in the medical areas to serve the needs of Long Island and its community. So there are a number of efforts underway that started last year and will continue this year.
One of the issues that's been brought to our attention is the fact that there's no online application for the college, and there hasn't been for a while. We've spoken about this, and then there was, you'd indicate that efforts were underway to restore the online application. Where are those efforts, and when can we see that application?
That will be launching this month. That has been taken care of.
Okay. All right. Obviously, especially with younger generations, most of their transactions are using, technology, the phone, et cetera.
Absolutely.
So the fact that that was not available, I think, would be a hindrance to enrollment. Is the college gearing up more to become an in-person instruction? I know that obviously with the pandemic, there's a tremendous amount of remote learning, not just here, obviously,
Yes.
all over. But I think it would be beneficial to have more of the students on campus also.
Agreed. The students are offered now a variety of courses back on campus. Personnel is back on campus, full throttle. So the community is back, and we expect to be fully operational for the fall.
All right. So, just in terms of increasing enrollment, I mean, you mentioned vocational education, guided pathways. I think we'd like to see, the legislators would like to see a specific plan for that the college has. Because again, it's something we've talked about for a number of years. Obviously, it's not a secret that it's been an issue in many places. We've talked about it with Dr. Williams, and it just doesn't seem as if much of what you're saying is different than what we've been told in the past. So we would encourage every effort be made to increase that enrollment.
Agreed.
We believe that's one of the greatest values in education that there is our college. And we want more people to take advantage of it. In terms of the facilities, we were given a tour of the facilities, and there was obviously a number of issues of great concern to us. First that comes to mind is the second floor of the library, which looks like it's something that's dated from the 70s.
Agreed.
So, what are the plans? We traditionally, we in the legislature have supported capital projects, every time they've been proposed to us to benefit the college. So what type of upgrades are in the near future?
The upgrades are happening as we speak. You have certainly been very generous as a county, and we thank you for offering the funds and granting us the funds for capital expenditures. We have a brand new team in our facilities area that is now taking care of the extreme deferred maintenance in many of the areas of the campus. You will certainly see that carpeting gone and tile floors now in the library and upgrades to all of our infrastructures. There is a plan now to spend down the monies that were offered to us by the county to upgrade the institution across the board, from its technology infrastructure to physical facility infrastructures.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to other legislators, but I guess just to sum up, the question I have for you as the president and as president is this. The budget you proposed for the 2022-2023 school year, is that budget sufficient to allow the college to achieve its mission for this coming year and serve its students and faculty and staff to the extent that they can?
Yes, it is.
Okay. To the max. Okay. Thank you. Sure. Do you want to go? Legislator Ford, Legislator Drucker, Legislator Miele.
Thank you very much. And I was under the impression that the community college already offered some of those programs to help students learn like different trades and everything. Was I mistaken?
There are a few of those. They're certainly not where our constituents are asking them for. They are looking for CDL certification.
Yes.
They're looking for plumbing, HVAC,
Yeah.
all of that. And the college currently does not offer any of that programming.
Okay, and how, when do you anticipate that you'll be able to offer those programs?
I would say no later than next fall. We will spend the year bringing up those programmings, putting the curriculum in place, hiring faculty to teach that.
Oh, so it wouldn't be till fall of '23?
If we cannot bring up the curriculum before that, yes. We cannot start that until the fall. So.
All right, okay. I thought maybe we'd be able to expedite something like that, because then that would attract
Yes.
more students to come to the college, and they provide them, because we have a lot of these jobs.
Yes.
When I look at, the money's coming from the federal government with the Build Back America, or whatever it is, I forget the name, a lot of it with the construction trades. They're focusing a lot on roads, bridges, by perhaps working with some of even the local unions. Maybe they can help you expedite that. Maybe you could bring those programs sooner rather than later, so that we could give those opportunities to many of our residents, our young residents, where they'll be able to get jobs that are well-paying and be able to stay here on Long Island.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that you're going to do some capital improvements. And I was with the presiding officer during that tour, which was very interesting. It was nice to see Nassau Community College again. I'm glad you're getting rid of the rug, and I hope there'll be other improvements as well. I predicted the orange rug, didn't I? Yes. So, with the theater, I know that sometimes when you have these specialty departments, like, when we have the medical arts, where you started nursing and other programs such as that, the theater also, it was very impressive to see the students that attended there. Of course, I currently live in Long Beach, which is the hometown of Billy Crystal, probably the most famous of all the alumni that went through that program. But they did show, and they did demonstrate some areas where work needs to be done.
Yes.
Like whether or not it's leaky windows, roofs, air conditioning, and whatever. And I hope that is those projects are on your radar currently, so that when we do go back for another tour, we'll see a different facility, a much better facility. It was brought to our attention, though, that there is a possibility of a $22 million matching grant that New York State has offered Nassau Community College for the theater section of the college, and that would have to be matched, by Nassau County. I'm sorry. I know that when I was first elected a legislator way back when, it was at that time the college advocated for, they brought legislators there to take a tour and gave us the arguments in favor of our joining with them and providing the $25 million matching grant so the medical arts pavilion could be built, and so that those programs and those courses can be offered to students. And as a result, we did pass that. And, you have an excellent nursing program. I know a couple of people have gone through that. So that is, a very shining example of partnering with the county and thinking outside the box. Are you aware of this grant? And if so, are you going to try to reach out to see if it's something that can be done by partnering with us, and maybe by providing another shining star in the in the college?
Currently, the theater department is going through their curriculum. They're upgrading curriculum, updating websites. Similar to the Billy Crystal story, there are many success stories coming out of our theater department. So yes, I'm aware of the grant that was gotten many, many years ago to build a new theater building. At the time, part of the complications were we had a Middle States visitation, and the question was, why would you invest? Again, Middle States is very much about budgetary connection with program growth areas. So a little different than nursing at the time. We're certainly, again, Long Island being a service area, growth area for nursing. So we have a new chief academic officer. and a new academic team that will be working with the theater to revamp some of its curriculum, and then certainly take a look at that as well.
I hope you do, because, you know, we've also, like, you know, over the years, we've seen great, many more movies and TV shows and so forth, and we're looking at, you know, I'm sure when that grant was first proposed, even through the Middle States consideration, we didn't have maybe the Grumman Studios, the Gold Coast. We weren't up in,
Yes.
you know, Sands Point, or you don't see, we didn't have as many shows being filmed here. So it is, and there are a lot of supporting jobs and different businesses that are, you know, work hand in hand when they do the filming, whether or not it's food services, set decorating, or they could do costume design or whatever. I mean, there's like so many elements, editing and whatever. So that would be something that I think that Nassau Community College then can offer, you know, help these students learn these trades so that they can enter into a well-paying job. You know, I'm proud that it's a union job. But, you know, also when you look at a lot of these theaters in Long Island are revamping themselves. And even with, you know, as much as people like going to Broadway, a lot of times people also like staying in Long Island. They don't want to take the Long Island, whatever reason. So it's something that maybe we could capitalize on. And I envision that, you know, hoping that through the efforts, we would be able to enhance the whole theater experience and, you know, bring something back or create something new in Long Island that would be a benefit for all. Thank you.
Legislator Drucker.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Dr. Gonzatti, nice to see you again. How are you?
You as well.
So, notwithstanding your projected decrease in enrollment in fiscal year 22-23, your tuition's remaining constant, is that correct?
It is, sir.
And what percentage of your annual budget is tied to salaries and fringe benefits?
87%, sir.
87%. So
Yes,
you
sir.
have no wiggle room when it comes to 87% of your budget.
No.
So it's only the 13% that's,
Correct, other than personnel services.
Right.
Contractual others, yes.
where do you stand with Middle States now? When's your next evaluation, do you know?
We have a report due. It's a mid-year, it's an 8-year visitation cycle. So
Right.
we have a report due in the fall with them checking on us, and another 4 years after that, sir.
And do you think that you are in compliance with their criteria? I know that the college has worked really hard in the last few years, and you have made tremendous strides in that regard.
Yes.
Do you feel that you're still on track to satisfy their criteria?
We are on track. We certainly look forward to satisfying their criteria fully, and then in 4 years for the full visit to continue to be in full compliance.
Great. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Thank you, you as well.
Legislator Drucker. I'm sorry, you got you already. Legislator Muley.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Hi.
Hi.
So I just wanted to piggyback on some of the questions that I heard. In terms of increasing enrollment, and
Yes.
I heard what you said in terms of it depends upon what the national economy is as to how much enrollment you have, and also that this is a trend that's happening everywhere. It's not just here in Nassau County, and I think it's important for us to remember that. But I'm wondering, do you do recruiting at the high schools? Do you actually go to the high schools and do like the automatic admittance? I know some schools, they go and the kids just go and meet with someone from whatever college, and then they're given admittance right then and there. Is that
Yes.
something that you do?
We do. We are physically at the high schools doing recruitment, meeting. We have, open admissions nights that we do. There's a whole rotation of all the local high schools that we go to. We have days in June, July, and August, which are open admits, where students can physically come to campus, and we'll go through the entire admissions process with them on campus. We attend all fairs. We actually host the SUNY Fair on our campus. That's open to all students inside of New York State and certainly here in Nassau County. So yes, we do.
Okay, so you do actually go to high schools and
Yes.
admit students right then and there?
We take their applications, we discuss them, any options that they have, any questions, financial aid, all of that. Yes, we do.
Okay. I think I got my answer.
We do.
Okay. And then in terms of the programs that you're looking to bring on, it sounds like they're the things that you hear on the commercials for the for-profit companies that teach, like, you mentioned HVAC and that type of thing. That sounds like a very smart idea to me, that you would go after what people are paying lots of money to do and bring that to the community college so people don't have to spend a lot of money and can come out with a certificate or whatever it is that they need to come out with to get these high-paying jobs without having all of the financial obligations that we hear so much about with the for-profit educational institutions. So, I'm very much in favor of that and glad to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Legislator Rhodes.
Just a couple of quick questions, and thank you again for your presentation. I know one of the items that we had discussed on our Zoom call was student input into the process. It sounds as though part of the issue is that we may not be offering the kinds of classes that students today are necessarily interested in.
Correct.
And what is the role of student input in that process? In the tour that we had, I spent probably no more than about 5 minutes in one of the classrooms, computer classrooms, speaking to the students directly about what types of things they would like to see offered, and they had no less than 4 suggestions for different course offerings that they would love to see happen, that they would be interested in taking. Considering the fact that they're our end user, they're the customer. Is there a plan in place now? And it kind of sounded as though on the Zoom call we were kind of afraid to ask the question, which might not be the right way to go about it. And I think the response was the expectation, if students have input in the process, is that there's going to be changes which we may or may not be able to make. I don't think that should prevent us from asking the question, though. Are we going to put in place a process whereby students will have some input as to what offerings are made by the college? I mean, ultimately, I think that's part of the solution that has to happen, is that they have to be a part of the process. If there are things that they want us to offer that they will use, that's what any business would do.
Sure. We can certainly engage our student government leadership in those conversations. I've scheduled monthly meetings with them to engage them in those conversations, and certainly we'll have all of cabinet engaged in conversations with the student government so that we can have an exchange of ideas and hear students out as a full cabinet, which includes our chief academic officer as well as fiscal officer and the like. So we will certainly begin with that process and engaging our students so that leadership to leadership they can express what they feel the institution should be doing and where the direction will go.
And how exactly is the college identifying which vocational training it's going to be offering?
It's based on, again, feedback that we've gotten from the community. We get phone calls all the time asking for specific programming. Do we have it? Do we offer it? We've gotten phone calls from, individuals within unions. Do you offer this? Do you offer welding? Do you offer this? Do you offer that? So it's been collection of data coming into the institution.
It might not be a bad idea to engage the unions directly with respect to that, because as I mentioned on the Zoom call, I think that there's a real opportunity, especially with the county having been provided some ARPA funds for us to strengthen our vocational training and to offer scholarships for individuals who lost their jobs as a result of COVID, or family members who have lost their jobs as a result of COVID, to offer the opportunity of discounted or free tuition with the use of ARPA funds to not only increase the enrollment of the college, but get much needed vocational training for people that needed to change their jobs. I think it's a very effective and proper use of that funding, for us to provide relief to our residents in the terms of job retraining. So, vocational training is the key to that. Problem is, we can't really create a program like that without having the course offerings that people will want to enroll in. So, the quicker that we can get up to speed on developing a curriculum, identifying first the areas where there's a need, and then developing a curriculum that'll meet requirements, licensing requirements, certainly is paramount. So is there a process in place to be able to do that?
We certainly have, board members that are on our board of trustees that can certainly provide us a venue to have those conversations.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Legislator DeReggie Whitten.
Hi. I know it's difficult to compete, as we were discussing in our caucus room, with the state right now, who's giving free tuition to families that are making under $125,000 per year to their colleges. Have you done any type of lobbying to try to? I know it's not, it's separate between the state and county, obviously, but do you know if there's any opportunity for the county to also be either reimbursed partially or through the state? Like, do you think there's a need for that you could focus on?
You're talking about state, politicking the state for additional funding? Is that what you mean?
Basically, since their last effort, when was that, like 3 years ago, to now be providing free tuition, like how do we compete with that?
Yes.
I don't know if there's a way, I don't know what their funding is like on that line, like possibly they could partner with the county schools, because some kids can't go to Albany, or,
Yes,
maybe
agreed.
there's, it would involve some thinking out of the box and some major effort. I respect that, but maybe the counties can work together to see if that would be a possibility through the state. And as my colleague mentioned, with the American CARES Act funding, I don't know. I'd have to look at it a little closer. But if there is a line there that that would qualify tuition, it's all this. It's the world's changing, and
Yeah.
I think it's great to offer more. The millennials are very practical, from what I can see. But they want to graduate and have a job lined up. And as my colleague Celia Bino mentioned, we need to get employers involved also. I mean, if kids can come in and know that they can get a job with this electric company or whatever, whomever, that's how I think these young kids' minds work. They really want to see what they can get for their effort. So maybe I think it'd be worth looking into the state to see if there is funding available. Because again, with zero tuition, it's very difficult to compete with that. So I don't know if you're in contact with other community colleges, but I think it'd be worth an attempt anyway.
We can certainly reach out to Suffolk and see.
See if
Yes.
if the state would be open to that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just heard, I have to look it up again, but I did hear that there was a good amount of funding available through that program. So maybe they would be willing to do it this way as well.
Legislator Bino.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
So I'm really excited to hear about the workforce development, the vocation. We talked on the Zoom. We've been engaging with Nassau County. When I say we, I mean the folks with the hub.
Yes.
The redevelopment there in terms of the, I co-chair the workforce development, so I know we've been in constant communication. Unfortunately, COVID has kind of slowed our pace down in being able to identify opportunities that would allow the college to put together some level of, vocational training, workforce development training. But that being said, Delia touched on it, and so we have a lot of employers in our area, right? And right in proximity, we have, Sloan Kettering and the like, and I'm assured that you're interfacing with them to find out what their needs are. I know that we want to hear from the students and the community at large in terms of individuals who might enroll, but getting the business organizations, the government involved. Like this, we have a national shortage on FAA, on flight, what do they call them, controllers, right? So, and we have an entity just across Stewart Avenue. We have a hub for that, right? Is there a way for us to connect in and assist in being able to have students enroll with the trajectory being, being
Employed.
placed at the, right locally at the controller's headquarters rather. Things like that, I think, go a long way. I don't know where, our employers are in terms of tuition reimbursement. I'm a graduate of Nassau Community College through the tuition reimbursement programming, and so, and having adjunct at LIU for the last like 4 or 5 years, that's going to be one of their concentrations, right? Trying to get employers who will identify individuals who can upskill and then be promoted through the ranks. And if we can start looking at things that would allow us to engage employers in that fashion, I think we might be able to turn the curve on that, along with everything else that you've talked about doing. I definitely wish the college well, and you talked about spending down that capital money. Spend it down.
We will.
Yep, get it all.
We will. We
Okay.
will fix it all.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right. Are there any other questions for Dr. Kanzati? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Farron Siminoff.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Farron Siminoff. I'm a professor at Nassau Community College. I'm in the Department of History, Political Science, Geography, and Latin American Studies. I'm also the president of the Nassau Community College Federation of Teachers. We are the union of the full-time faculty. I'm here to speak to you a little bit about the budget. In some respects, my friend, Dr. Kanzati, has, informed what I'm going to say. I'm not here to speak against the budget, but I am here to say that the college does need more money. It's been 15 years since the college has had an increase in its funding from the county, and that means that those funds are probably worth about $20 million less, maybe more, right, as inflation keeps growing. And so the notion that we don't need more money at this point just doesn't seem realistic to me. Everybody needs an increase. Suffolk Community College gets a 2 to 3% increase every single year. We spoke a little bit about the theater department. And we have a wonderful theater and dance department, and a number of you came and spoke to the chair of the theater department and saw our wonderful students. And I invite all of you in the fall who weren't able to tour. We're going to be offering more tours. Please come. We want to know you. We want you to know us. We want you to see our faculty, our chairs, our students. But we only have 2 full-time faculty in the theater department, neither of whom are teaching faculty. How can we run and grow a theater department with no full-time teaching faculty? What's been happening at the college over the last, I'd say, decade or so is been a process of cutting. As our faculty has gotten older, has retired, we haven't been replacing them. And yes, the staff, whether it's CSEA, who, do the secretarial or public safety, the AFA, who are adjuncts, or the NCCFT, who are full-time faculty, of course, most of the operational budget will go into that, because what do we provide? We're providing education, and who provides it? Educators. So obviously that's going to take up a lot of the operating budget. But we need to, if you want to grow the college, you need to invest in the college. We have to invest in full-time faculty. Faculty, can I speak longer? Yes? Faculty who will be there to grow, to create the curriculum, to supervise the implementation, to mentor our students. If we keep cutting the college can't grow. And the faculty has a lot of initiatives, but we don't have either the budget or the faculty to implement them. We have cybersecurity. We have in the art department, and I think Legislator Rhodes was speaking to one of the faculty members who wants to do this. We have gaming. We have lots of really innovative 21st century programs and initiatives that we could implement, but we don't have the money and we don't have the faculty to do it. So while I'm not asking you to vote down the budget, because I am practical and obviously we need money to function, I am asking you to ask the college to reconsider what we need to grow and to move forward. Remember that our students stay in the county. You know, when kids go away to a four-year college or residential college, they oftentimes don't return, but our students stay, and they become your police, and they become lawyers, and they become managers of businesses, and they open up small businesses. They become your nurses. We have a wonderful nursing department, but we don't have enough faculty to grow the nursing department, and we have a waiting list. But our students become all of those things. They establish families. They become taxpayers. So we are a very good investment because the population of Nassau County is aging, and it has stayed relatively flat. Our students stay. So if we grow our student population, we will also help to grow the college, to grow the county. There's a lot of reasons to invest in the college. And I also want to point out that our students often transfer to four-year colleges. It's not enough. It's fine to offer vocational. I'm not saying we should not do any of these things. But the vast majority of our students want to get a BA. They want opportunities, just like the people who went to the college 20 years ago or 30 years ago had an opportunity to figure out what they wanted to do and to find their dreams as well. So the college, I believe, is a huge, huge asset to the county. I hope that you do approve this budget, but in addition, I hope you also tell the college, and as they said, they're a new administration. This budget was crafted before this administration came on board, to do an add-on or a supplemental. We need more faculty, we need more money for our programs, and we really need the ability to grow. We believe, and we've said this before, that a great county deserves a great community college. Please help us to grow. Please invest in this community college, and we will serve you very well. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Farron. Is there any other public comment?
Meet J. Maraday. I agree with both speakers, actually. I think that the college should get additional funding, and I think that the funding that they have received, for the most part, should be utilized more effectively. And from what I've been hearing, I think that there are those involved who will make it happen. My concern, again, aside from the fact that I will try to stay within my 3 minutes because, you know, other people can go above and beyond and there's no ramifications or anything like that, but I know when it comes down to either me personally or me historically, I'll just leave that out there. But I'm concerned that, just to throw some suggestions out there, because we talk about young people and things of that nature, baby boomers are returning to colleges, particularly community colleges, at a great rate. And we do have an aging population here, so that's an opportunity. Again, veterans, and I know that there's a strong veteran community at the community college, but I think we can utilize that a little bit more effectively and tying that into the building trades, electrical services, construction. A lot of the work that's been done out here in Nassau County Healthcare is the largest employer here. I think we can be more aggressive, more productive and proactive in creating those opportunities from a training and a workforce development aspect, not just talking about it, but being about it. If we drive just along Franklin, or retail stores that unfortunately a former president didn't see the need to protect as far as jobs and workforce are being busted out as we speak for more health-related facilities. That could be on-the-job training right there for construction, for electrical, for students who are getting that application right at Nassau Community College. So I think it's one of our diamonds, similar to our underutilized Nassau University Medical Center, which again could work together. Research and development is also very key, very high paying if it's done correctly and adequately. That could be another relationship, tying in the community college with our public hospital. There's a lot of space there. There are empty facilities. The old nursing and doctor's quarters could be rehabbed. Again, building trade work that students trained at Nassau Community College, veterans per se, as an example, could build and revitalize those facilities, and guess what? They could live in them. They could stay here. These could be back on the tax rolls. They could be productive jobs, productive citizens. So again, I'm not here just waxing poetic and wasting my time that, gets limited to me, but other people can speak as long as they want and for whatever they want. But this is, again, rational ideas, practical applications that we need to implement because our residents are leaving, our young people are leaving, and the ones who are here are struggling to pay for these homes. Guess what? I'm on the money. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion to close the hearing at this point. Moved by Legislator Ford, seconded by Legislator Walker. All in favor of closing the hearing signify by saying aye. 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 Those opposed, the hearing is closed unanimously. Number 2, ordinance number 34, an ordinance to adopt the Nassau County budget for the Nassau Community College for the fiscal year commencing September 1st, 2022 and ending August 31st, 2023, and to appropriate revenues in the total amount of monies to be raised by taxation within the County of Nassau for the purposes of the Nassau Community College for such fiscal year. Motion by Legislator Phillip, seconded by Legislator Schaefer. Any debate or discussion on the college budget? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Carries unanimously. This budget passes. We have one last item. This Legislator Muley, this will be the one you're recusing on. 13, Resolution 98, a resolution authorizing the county attorney to compromise and settle the claims of plaintiff as set forth in the action entitled Dover Gourmet Corporation versus County of Nassau. Motion by Legislator Kennedy, seconded by Legislator Gaylord. Just note for the record that Legislator Muley has left the chambers. She's not participating in any further debate or discussion or vote on this item. So the item is now before us. Any debate or discussion on item 13 among the legislators? Legislator Drucker, did you want to speak on this item?
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I just have to say that it's a little troubling to me to see this settlement brought before the legislature today after the extensive dialogue we had with the administration on our last meeting on June 8th. While the stipulation discontinues the plaintiff's cause of action with prejudice, this stipulation falls short of relieving our concerns regarding Dover's prior business relationship with the county. What is even more disturbing is the conclusory statement within the settlement that Dover is a vendor in good standing. It's important to note also that the contract and the stipulation were signed on the same day on June 1st, so there was expectations about Dover being settled and considered a vendor in good standing from day one. In my opinion and in the opinion of others, failing to pay the county on time or at all and violating living wage laws indicates that Dover is in fact not a vendor in good standing. And yet, despite these documented issues, the county decided that this vendor should be trusted again with our county facilities and parks and given a sweetheart deal for the next 10 years. What this settlement does is normalize questionable behavior by county vendors and cast doubt on the future of a fair and transparent procurement process that should award vendors who are truly in good standing. Thank you.
As with any settlement, there is obviously each party gives something, and in this case, and each party gets something. In this case, the county is getting the removal of a risk of millions of dollars of damages. So is this a settlement for the benefit of the county? Yes, number one. Number two, my colleague has accepted as fact every allegation made against this company. And in so doing, he becomes the judge, jury, and executioner of this company. So I would note for the record that Dover heartily contests each and every one of those allegations that have been made over the course of time, and that it has been a vendor for the county for as long as anyone can remember at this point. Again, this settlement is something that's in the interest of the county, and I would encourage all my colleagues to vote for it. Actually, it's not the settlement. It's simply filing the stipulation of discontinuance.
Mr. Presiding Officer, I just wanted to say one thing.
Yes.
I'm sorry. But the added words, vendor in good standing, in my opinion, is superfluous language. I think we can do the settlement can go forward, the stipulation can go forward. I don't necessarily understand the logic of adding that language. Why are they now deemed a member, vendor in good standing? They admitted their wrongdoings in the past. We understand that. But this doesn't still transform them magically into being a vendor in good standing. That's all I want to say.
I think we can disagree on that point. Legislator, DeReggie Whitten.
I hope you could just let me just mention something that's not exactly pertinent to the settlement. I was approached with someone who's concerned about those that are employed at places such as Nickerson Beach right now. The settlement and the contract say that without any other procurement being involved, that when these contracts are finished, they're automatically going to go to Dover. So that's in the contract that was passed already, so I know we can't rehash that, but I guess my plea or my request would be that possibly those that are employed in such things, I believe, as boating instruction and very specific surfing jobs descriptions would possibly be employed by Dover in the future. If we could somehow try to do some kind of agreement with Dover, and again, I know we can't, but if Dover could give us that courtesy of considering taking those that are already employed at that beach and re-employing them under their own contract, I think that would be very helpful in restoring any question of goodwill that might exist.
Okay, I mean, the only point a couple of points I would make was that my understanding is, at least with respect to county employees, there was going to be an effort, actually, not an effort to hire each and every one of the county employees who were there. I believe it was my understanding that from part-time to full-time positions, number one. Number two, I would assume that Dover, in good business sense, would want to hire those other employees, the vendors, for the simple reason that it is so difficult now to obtain employees in general. So I would assume that if you have a pool of skilled employees, that something that they will want to do.
There's a company called Scudenser.
Scudenser.
All right. So, again, they're not county employees, and I know it's hard to find employees, but
if we could, about both.
If we could just, if we could just maybe suggest that Dover contact them and really work with them, I think it would be a good, I don't know, it would be a positive win-win situation, but I would love to see that happen.
Yes, there is a contract in place between Scuden and Dover in regard to the lifeguards at the pools. As the contract, or whatever it was that we have with Dover, he only goes up to the dunes. So Scuden lifeguarding, that contract is solely with the county. The Dover does not have any control over that whatsoever.
Any other debate or discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
And I will abstain.
Abstained, okay. So we have, you're an aye. We have 12 ayes, 1 abstention, and then 5 nays, because there's only 18 of us here. Okay. All right. Yeah, Josh voted remotely. All right, so that's the last item that we have. I'm going to place the legislature. Yeah. I noted before that she recused herself and she's not being counted in the vote. That's why we have 18. Right, so at this point, I'm going to recess the meeting. Thank you. And we'll start the Rules Committee in about 5 minutes. Going to call the Rules Committee to order. Ask Mike, please call the roll.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Rules Committee roll call. Legislator Sheila Bino. Legislator Delia Dirigi-Witten. Ranking Member Kavan Abrahams. Thank you. Legislator Laura Schaefer. Legislator Stephen Rhodes. Thank you. Vice Chairman Howard Copel. Chairman Richard Nicolello.
Here.
We have a quorum, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a number of contracts to consider this afternoon, and I'll call them all at once so that before us to consideration. A resolution, actually, A18, A21 of 2022, resolutions authorizing the Commissioner of Shared Services to execute or approve additional funding for blanket purchase orders between the county and Eagle Control Corp. and Pacifico Corporation. B3, 2022 is a resolution authorizing the county executive to execute a contract amendment between the county and Wellsbeck Electric Corp. E68, E69, E70, E72, E73, U3 of 2022, resolutions authorizing the county executive to execute personal services agreements or amendments to personal services agreements between the county and Celex ES, the Law Office of Vincent D. McNamara, Howard S. Krebs, Sokoloff Stern, Edmore Advertising Agency, Inc., Backstage Pass Media Production. We need a motion by Deputy Presiding Officer Copel, seconded by Minority Leader Abrahams, to put those contracts before us. Also, we need to untable two contracts. B1 of 2022 is a resolution authorizing the county executive to award and execute a contract between the county and EA Restoration. E54, a resolution authorizing the county executive to execute an amendment to a personal services agreement between the county and Kaufman, Dolowich, and Vulak. Motion by Minority Leader Abrahams, seconded by Deputy Presiding Officer Copel to untable. All in favor of untabling signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? They carry unanimously. All right. First order of business before we start considering contracts, we need a motion to table A18 and B3 2022. Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. No, I'm going to table it now. Yeah. All right, so let's just... All right. No, for the record, that Minority Leader Abrahams will not be participating or voting or discussing the tabling of contracts A18 and B3. Okay, so then we'll consider them separately. So I need a motion to table A18. Moved by Legislator Rhodes, seconded by Legislator Dirigi-Witten. All in favor of tabling that contract signify by saying aye. Aye. B3, motion by Legislator Rhodes, seconded by Legislator Schaefer. All those in favor of tabling that item signify by saying aye. Aye. So that motion succeeds by a vote of 6-0 with Minority Leader Abrahams not voting. As convoluted as that could be. Okay, so the first contract to be considered is with the police department. It's A68 with Celex. E68.
Good afternoon, William Field, Inspector with the Police Department. Item E68-22. This is an amendment to extend the contract for services related to the department's license plate readers. This is amendment is with Celix, who does business at LSAG. The purpose is to extend the term of the contract for 1 additional year. They were selected as a sole source provider, and Their system is a proprietary system of hardware and software.
Okay, the contract, though, with the extension expires on July 31st of 2022. So is there something in the works for another contract for them, or is this going to be it?
Yes, sir. So we're currently trying to figure out the best way to proceed. We have a couple of options we're weighing, and we're working with the county attorney because we don't have a lot of time.
Those options include another extension for Celix?
Possibly.
Okay, all right, but you haven't made a determination yet. All right. Any other? Yes, Legislator DeReggie Whitten.
Do you know if this is considered a sole source, or?
Yes, this was originally, back in 2016, determined as a sole source. It's their hardware, their software system that they maintain for us.
All right, so I guess we could probably get an extension a little bit easier if that's the case. Okay.
Any other debate or discussion? Okay, thank you, Inspector.
Thank you.
E70 of 2022, this is with TIPFA and Howard Krebs.
I'm Mark Mullen. I'm General Counsel to TIPFA. As many of you are aware, TIPFA is in need of judicial hearing officers. The Honorable Judge Howard Krebs has applied, is qualified under the statute, and has been approved by the administrative judge.
All right. Any discussion or debate? Okay, thank you. Next item is with the Parks Department, and it's E73 of 2022. Ed Moore, advertising.
Good afternoon, Presiding Officer Darcy Bellier. I'm joining you remotely today.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So we are looking to amend a personal services agreement of a contract in place since March 1st, 2020, as a result of an RFP. We are seeking to extend the term for 2 years. It would now expire on February 28th, 2025. The purpose of the extension and additional funding, which I'll explain momentarily, will be to develop a new broad-based marketing plan for Nassau County that will promote tourism to the county from the tri-state area, as well as from our own residents here in the county as we work to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. The goal is to have people from within Nassau County and the tri-state to come to Nassau, spend money in our stores and restaurants, stay in our hotels, and also visit our county parks, beaches, museums, and preserves, which have all seen a dramatic drop in visitation and revenue numbers due to the pandemic. And the funding that we would like to add was budgeted for by the prior administration. The additional funds to initially be added are $600,000 from ARPA funding. The maximum amount of the contract shall be increased from $450,000 by an additional $1.8 million over the term to a total of $2.25 million. Funding sources will be $150,000 per year, as it currently is, from hotel motel funds, and the balance from ARPA funds, as I previously mentioned, as allocated by the previous administration. And I am excited about continuing to work with the Ed Moore Agency, who's done nice work with the county in recent years, and also our county team to bring people to Nassau, encourage our own residents to visit facilities and attend events as we continue to work in Nassau County.
Okay, I have some questions. So, is this taking the place of the contract with Discover Long Island, or supplemental?
No, so that no, so this will supplement, work in concert as again a more broad-based marketing plan specific for Nassau. The Discover Long Island contract currently has expired, and we're in the process of reissuing an RFP. The prior administration had reissued an RFP, and we weren't comfortable moving forward with their selection, so we are in the process of reissuing that. But this is separate and apart from that.
And in terms of the ARPA funds, will they be used in addition to this year? Will they be used in the next 2 years as well? I mean, you anticipate those funds being available? I believe that would be the
plan. I'm sorry, sir?
So you anticipate those funds still being available in the next 2 years?
I would think so, with additional hopefully added.
Anyone else have questions? Yes.
Hi, Commissioner. This is Legislator Witten. I just, I understand that they're going to increase everything, and I think that's great to help. But it's only going to be for the Nassau County events? Or are
No.
Okay.
It would, no, our goal is to get people to shop in our stores, eat in our restaurants, stay in our hotels, and also come to Nassau County. And while you're here, hopefully enjoy an event or two and visit one of our amazing parks or preserves.
So how are you going to decide, like, what hotels to promote or what is it going to have to be?
No, we aren't going. No. We aren't going to specifically support or promote individual businesses, but the end goal is to have a broad-based marketing plan that gets bodies here in Nassau County, staying, eating, shopping, and doing.
Okay. That it is a big increase because it used to be 150 per year. Now we're going up to about 750 a year.
Right.
So
yeah.
Do you have like a pretty? Do you feel secure with the plan that you've seen? Like there's a pretty good outline of the efforts they're going to be making?
Well, I worked with Ed Moore since I came on in January, and his work has been great. And we're going to work with him, and the consultant, Ardura, will actually, help to oversee as well to make sure that we are following suit with how the funds can be used. But I hope to model a plan against in line with what other municipalities are currently using their ARPA funds for. A close example to us would be Gloucester County, New Jersey, Boston, Washington, D.C.
Okay, so as far as the ARPA funding, you've had that looked into, correct? Because I know there was a question, I don't know if you can hire personnel with that funding, but...
No, I have full confidence in our team from OMB and County Attorney's Office, and we've all been working together as a team along with County Communications with the consultant Ardura, and they've been advising us on how we can use these funds, and they'll guide us as needed as we go along.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So another question, does Ed Moore Agency have experience in broad-based marketing? Obviously, he's been in a more narrow function with the county for years in terms of promoting our concerts and actually probably booking concerts. Does he have experience?
Right. We have yes, sir. We have I'm sorry to cut you off. We have the luxury of having him subcontract out to, production houses and other consultants as well. So if there is a time when he needs assistance, we can call that in.
So what would differentiate what he's going to be doing as opposed to what the vendor will be doing that responds to the RFP? What's different about his role? Is it the same?
Truthfully, no. His role's different because we want to bring people here to the county and immediately increase our revenue and visitors to our own facilities as well as private businesses, as I mentioned. What I've seen from what I have reviewed and have met with who was awarded the RFP last year and also meeting with Discover a couple of times, they are very regionally based, not Nassau County specific. So we're looking to put more of a focus here on our county.
Okay. Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you.
Okay. Next Parks item is a contract U3 with Backstage Pass Media. Did you get that?
Tim Messner is going to be joining you, I believe. He should be in the room.
He's right there.
Deputy Commissioner? Okay,
Yes, hi.
thank you.
Tim Messner, Deputy Commissioner with the Parks Department. Tim Messner. Thank you. The contract you have before you is an award to Backstage Pass Media, who is a performer that was awarded a contract based on an RFQ process. This is retroactive. Unfortunately, we did not get this to you in time for the first concert series that we had dated June 11th.
Okay. All right. Any questions, Tim? Nope. Thank you. Next contracts are with the County Attorney's Office, E54.
Good afternoon, legislators. Brian Libbert from the County Attorney's Office. This is a contract with Kaufman, Dolowich, Volek for the case known as Volpe. The case actually has now been transferred. This is actually a closeout contract and is a labor and employment matter. And of course, happy to answer any questions.
And what was it? And I don't even know if you can answer this, but you know why it was transferred to a new council? I don't know if you can answer it anyways.
I would just say for strategy reasons for the purposes of this record.
All right. Any other questions on this contract? Nope. We'll move to the second one, which would be E69, Law Office of Vincent McNamara.
This is a contract, is a new contract with the Law Office of Vincent McNamara for a case called Ramsarup against Nassau County. This is a very serious personal injury case, and the county's involvement stems mostly from the transport of the patient. And again, it's very serious, and that's why we need counsel. So.
All right. Any questions on this contract? Nope. E72, Sokolov Stern.
This is a contract with Sokolov Stern for the case of Gerline Felix and the estate of Matthew Felix. Last month I was here, I believe, with two contracts for the same case. There is a conflict in the case, and this is the third counsel that is required due to that legal conflict.
Okay. Any questions on this one? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. All right, we have two contracts with Public Works.
Yep, I'm here. Thank you. Which one would you like to do first?
A21.
So A21 is a purchase order for Powell bathroom tissue and dispensers. There are 3 vendors that solicited on the bid, and the bidder that we're choosing is a small business minority and veterans-owned business.
Okay. All right. Any questions on this one? No. All right. Next one is B1. Next and last one.
Okay, so B1 is our general construction requirements contract. This contract we use for emergencies and for timely projects that need to get done. We had 2 bids received, and E&A was the lowest responsible bidder. There were some questions from the IG that were satisfied.
Okay. Any questions for this item? So, Legislator DeReggie Whitten.
I understand that the Inspector General is on the meeting. Jody, are you there?
Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon. This is Jody Franzese from the Office of the Inspector General.
Hi. If you could, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a brief update as to your findings.
Sure. We'd be so our office was unable to find any evidence in the record that DPW conducted a capacity assessment as part of its vendor responsibility review. And since the vendor was currently working on 2 of NASA's largest projects, we inquired with the department as to whether or not they planned to do or had done such an assessment. So DPW gave us a detailed response that seems to be the result of very careful consideration, and their response addressed our concerns.
You know, it would be helpful if, when did you receive that response?
Actually, I received it and I sent it to the members, the people who are in my email send list, Minority Council, Majority Council, the administration. I sent their response out, I think a week or so ago. But I can confirm the date for you, but that's out. And just to be clear, if I could help with this, it was never our intention to prevent this particular award. We just wanted to make sure that the vendor didn't have too much on their plate so that they could complete both the police academy and the family court, and then also take on a requirements contract.
Okay, thank you for putting everything on the record. I appreciate it.
No, my pleasure.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, can we, all right, so now we're going to go to, actually, before we go to a vote, we need to ask if there's any public comment. Hearing none, so we're going to go for a vote on all these contracts, including E68, E70, E73, U3, E54, E69, E72, A21, and B1. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Carries unanimously. Motion to adjourn, Legislator Rhodes. Seconded by Legislator Schaefer. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? That carries unanimously. We're adjourned.